Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, that was the worst thing ever. All right. All right. I got my cam on this time. All right. I just need to turn it on. Hello. It's it, it is so hot. So humid outside. What? Let me see here. Hold on. The weather. It's 76 with 85% humidity right now, and it's supposed to get hotter. Or it's supposed to get more. Well, it's gonna get more humid because Saturday through Wednesday, yeah, we have thunderstorms and rain. Oh, we don't have any hurricane things happen. Okay, so we got video. We got a video to cover. Looks like something with legendary drops, and it is about. There we are. It is about what do you call it? Oops. It's about Bungie and what do you call it? Bungie and Sony. Seems like just seems like Sony's just not. It's not having a good day. All right. Okay. Um. Interesting. Okay. Also, I wonder why this check-in thing only. Okay. It doesn't stack up. Daily check-in. Um. Hmm. Interesting. I figured that out. All right, so let's watch what's going on with legendary drops. Make sure to check them out. Okay. Actually, you know what? Here, I'll put this link in here now. There you go. And let's do it.
Oh man, I thought things were bad, but I didn't know they were this bad, and they're a lot worse than what people are telling you guys right now. Sony has to feel scammed. Wool pulled over their eyes, sold snake oil, torching nearly $1 billion off the books because they bought 2 failed live service games instead of 1. What a bargain. Surely it can't get any worse. Well, I've looked into it, and of course it does. Predictable. That's all I can say. It's the best thing that I can say. When you have audiences that are as loud as the people that have been around Bungie or Destiny or Marathon or any other game right now, these guys, the players warned you. All the signs were there. You had all the information that you needed, but you just refused to listen.
Yeah. You know how they say don't bite the hand that feeds you? Well, don't slap the wrist that hands you money. Pretty much. Don't do that.
Listen. And while I do think that it looks like Marathon's starting to make some of the right choices, that only came after you were financially incentivized by the audience to do so. And that's definitely not the way that things should go. This industry is just, they're so obsessed with reaching audiences that they just refuse to understand. They don't want to listen to you. They see you more as market share than they actually see you as people. And I don't think this is something that is just limited to Bungie or Sony. I think this is everywhere right now. I think a lot of the burned money and the failed live service games, just failed games in general that we've seen over the past couple of years are because of this. I think Bungie is the cost of that blindness. The fact that these guys just don't want to see you as people. They only want to see you as a consumer. So today, I want to talk about how Sony has torched nearly $1 billion off the books because of Bungie. I want to talk about the fate of Marathon and Destiny and how an industry that is so obsessed with getting our money.
Let's go. What's up, Seth? Marathon is good, but man, the player base. The player base. That's only their all diehard players sweating constantly. Yeah, I heard that. Not Destiny. I heard that Marathon is doing they're wanting to put a PvE component in there, like a PvE mode. I'm guessing that's so PvE players can play that and build their player base back up or get it up a little bit. Who knows? PvE coming season 2. I got it. Because, I mean, here's the thing, like, you have Marathon, not Marathon, you have Halo, you have Destiny, and they all have a PvP component to it, right? But the thing is, there's always been a PvE, like, co-op type thing as well, so I can kind of see, like, where they're coming, like, so, like, when they were like, oh, we're doing a PvE, I'm like, okay, the PvE is kind of there. The PvP is there too. But like, which is more important, I guess. I don't know. It was just very, very, it was like, it threw me off. I was like, huh? Interesting. Okay.
Money refuses to understand the people that spend it. Before that, a word from today's sponsor, Boot.dev, longtime partner of the channel and one of the best websites if you want to learn to code, instead of just vibing out to a YouTube video in the background that you then close afterwards. If you guys actually want to learn how to do it,
that makes sense.
This is the site to use. I hop on the site in my free time because it doesn't feel like I'm actually studying. I'm earning XP, completing quests, fighting
Destiny
bosses,
players,
and the whole time
nothing is going on in Destiny 2. So, like, what else are you going to do?
Go, real skills.
Where are they going to go?
Stuff that would land you a job with a median salary of $100,000 or probably more, and you're doing it probably from the comfort of your own couch.
Because that's the same thing that happened to me when
there's a bear wizard named Boots that acts as your tutor. He doesn't just hand you the answers.
Play
instead,
Rainbow
it
Six
tries
Siege
to
a
push
lot
you towards figuring it out yourself.
And then they got rid of it. And when they got rid of it, I'm like, I don't want to play PvP.
Really lock something
I don't want to
in
be forced to play
moving on.
PvP.
It's the kind of thing that really respects your time without just padding out the entire course.
Where am I going to go? What am I going to do?
Is free to read and watch, which means you could just go and teach yourself if you wanted to.
You're not just
interactive stuff.
like they were coming out,
coding, AI help,
and it was before it was I think it was the beta.
Experience. Go to
and I was playing the beta for Ready or Not for like quite some time. I was having a blast.
It's going to give you 25% off your first
I'm gonna have to play that game again.
on an
I'm not sure when,
plan.
but I'll have to play that game again.
Description. I'll be real with you guys with the news cycle kicking into high gear, the stacked release schedule ahead of us, Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks that have been pumping, and Summer Games Fest right around the corner. I'd almost all but forgotten about Marathon, and it seems like just about everybody else has too. Despite the game's defenders and games media trying to sell it off as something more than what it actually was, some game that was just destined for greatness that we just couldn't see yet. But, you know, in my eyes and in the eyes of a lot of other players.
And I will say this, with Marathon, it seems tempting to actually... Sorry if you guys hear my fan, by the way, because I have to have it cranked up because it's super humid and it's super humid right now. But I want to say with Marathon, I like having the PvE is nice, but here's my question: how long are they gonna have it? Because my thing is, and it's a possibility because we've seen this in the game industry for quite some time. They'll add a mode, people will be like, "Ooh, this is awesome," and they'll play said mode for a while. Player base builds up, the numbers come back, people are buying stuff, and then out of nowhere they try to be sneaky and remove like the mode that everybody liked, and then they're like, "What the fuck," you know? And then player numbers go back down. So like when I heard about the PvE, I was like, "Oh, that seems cool. I might have to give, you know, Marathon another chance," because I did the whole thing. They would be dumb not to keep it. People will buy it just for that mode. Exactly. And again, that's what happened with Rainbow Six. People did it with Destiny 2. People bought it because Red War and Curse of Osiris, and guess what? It's gone. People did it for Forsaken. I know Forsaken wasn't very popular, but it's gone now. So yeah.
This game was just destined for failure. Bungie just flat out abandoned their audience with Destiny to go and make this new game and this new audience that was never theirs to begin with Marathon, and then they just made this game that was incredibly niche for an incredibly niche audience, and this was just always going to end the same way. And what was the result of that? Well, Marathon launched to a peak of 88,000 players, started declining within its first week, and it just never recovered from that. Instead, it just cascaded downwards, now hovering around 12,000 players, down nearly 90% from their launch, a number
Ooh. Damn. That's as of right now. Wow. They're still holding on. That's crazy. How's Forza doing? Not bad. We are in the wee hours of the morning, though. Dang, that's crazy. Anyway.
Remind you that you just flat out cannot survive as a live service. It's just not possible, especially with how much money.
Well, and also here's the thing too. Well, yeah, this is all the sweats, but like, remember that's just Steam alone. Like you still got PlayStation and you still got Xbox as well.
Money they invested into this game, and even more so when you consider how many developers Bungie has and how much those guys are actually getting paid. So now Bungie has gone all hands on deck trying to save this new game, while support for Destiny 2 has grinded to a halt, showing those players exactly who they find more important and causing that game to tank just.
Like, again, I feel bad for them because again, they had the game where it was like they thought it was ending, and then Bungie was like, "No, let's add in Edge of Fate," which jumbled a whole bunch of other that restarted people's levels and everything, and then they're like, "Okay, then we'll add Edge of Fate," which did terrible, and then they're like, "Oh, let's add in Renegades," which is their Star Wars collab, and it was like, guys, I thought the final shape was supposed to be the end of it. And then like it basically gave their players hope, because it did the same thing to me. It gave me hope, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're stopping here and we're doing everything else for Marathon. And it's like, what the heck? Why? Why add these 2 DLCs? Just what you guys could have done was just keep adding dungeons, keep everything else, just keep adding dungeons and stuff. But no, I haven't played anything after Final Shape. Good. Edge of Fate, terrible. Edge of Fate was bad. Renegades, I didn't even play Renegades. I watched people's streams and stuff, but Renegades, I believe, only had a dungeon. It didn't have a raid. I could be wrong on that.
The same. 2 failures for the price of 1. That's not a deal that I would take, but it's one that Sony has, and somehow it has only gotten worse. During their most recent earnings call, Sony announced a $565 million impairment loss against Bungie, which combined with the $200 million impairment loss they took last year, now comes to the tune of $765 million. Sony CFO
That's
stated,
crazy.
Earnings from Bungie's title portfolio did not meet our expectations, so we downwardly revised our business plan and impaired the full amount of the fixed assets related to Bungie except for goodwill.
What they could have done was just make a Destiny, and I know it's scratching the same record. Everybody's saying the same. They could have just made a Destiny 3, and they could have done fine. They could have been fine. That's it. They could have been fine making a Destiny 3.
So the whole reason that I made this video is because this is actually a lot worse than what people are letting on right now, because I'm sure not a lot of people are spending their free time trying to brush up on their accounting lingo. Fixed assets are things like software, engines, the physical assets. Goodwill is the brand. Bungie's games have flopped now to such a degree that Sony is forced to admit that those assets that they had purchased are no longer worth what they paid for, wiping nearly $1 billion off the books. And now, by impairing the full amount towards Bungie's fixed assets, the games themselves, the studio, the engine, the developers, Sony has basically put their back against the wall. If there is further impairment down the road, they are going to have to go against goodwill to the value of the Bungie name itself, the brand itself, and their reputation as a studio, which would then ultimately be the admission that this acquisition was a complete failure and would likely lead to the dissolution of the studio or very, very significant downsizing, all of which I think was completely avoidable. I think a good chunk of the animosity that we see today from players is largely just coming down to the fact that they are not being listened to, and also how often these publishers and studios just deny reality that's right in front of them. Nobody wants to give us the time of day, but they still expect every single penny out of our bank accounts, and the more that continues to happen, the fewer changes that we see in our favor, the worse things are going to keep getting, and ultimately it's just going to end in failure. I am just so sick of these self-inflicted wounds. I mean, both Sony and Bungie ignored so many warning signs on the way to get here that it is genuinely mind-blowing how they still ended up in this position. You know, before Sony even acquired Bungie, financial analysts were telling them that it was a bad deal. Michael Pachter told Sony that they had vastly overpaid, that they were paying around $4 million per developer when most deals were closing at around $250 to $1 million. He contrasted that with EA buying Respawn for $700 million when that studio was already making $700 million, while Bungie, at the same time, was only making around $200 million, while Sony was buying them for $3.6 billion. It just didn't make any sense. And in his view, the entire deal felt directionless. It felt like it was made out of desperation because Microsoft had just bought Activision. And man, was this dude right? This was a company with no plan that was buying another studio with no plan. I need you guys to understand the stupidity in all this. Like, try to make this make sense to me. You are Bungie. You have an audience that you've attracted for over a decade through Destiny, a live service MMO that, while it does have PvP, you guys have largely stopped supporting it, making the primary audience for the game overwhelmingly PvE. They like dungeons, they like raids, they like story.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. The raids really sold it. Like, because, and now the raids really sold it, which the community loved, that it became a thing. Like when they did, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but when they did King's Fall, when they did the King's Fall raid, was it? Yeah, when they did King's Fall raid, Twitch even did a Twitch Rivals for it, and that was the very first Twitch Rivals where anybody and everybody who was a streamer was able to participate. And the cool thing is, it's when you beat it, Like, did you guys see like when you win, when you're world's first on raid, you get like a championship belt. Like, it is sick. Hold on, I'll show you. I'll see. It's only for the people that um it's only the people that get it. Salt Greppo is like one of the big, like is one of like the biggest like uh raid competitors. This dude has four belts, and they send this to people that are that beat it. Like whoever is the world's first to beat the raid, because the thing is you're doing it in contest mode, so it's a lot harder. And and there's like it's a lot harder, and there's like I was gonna say more challenges. Um, Basically it's just more difficult. It's more difficult to play. And the thing is, you're going in, you don't know what the mechanics are or anything like that. Nobody can help you. The only thing they could do is basically it's almost like and this is what the beauty of this is. It's like being a developer, pretty much. Um, because you get to think about, like, it's like while you're playing, you're like, okay, I'm trying to understand this mechanic. Obviously, we don't understand the mechanic. We constantly die. We have to wipe, right? So then it was like, all right, let me go ahead. So if you just see people like do it, they're like, okay, so if we talk, oh wait, all right, so if we go to this door and we interact with it, the enemies spawn. Is that supposed to happen? Okay, it's supposed to happen. That's how we're starting the raid. Okay, so then we see some lights and they're doing like a certain pattern. Okay, then I see another set of lights over here. They're doing a different pattern. Do we have to match the lights? Do one light set needs to be on this side and the other light set needs to be on this side? Who knows? And it's trial and error. And you just do that until the raid is over, until you get to the final boss, and then you keep fighting, and then when it's over, like when you beat the boss, and you're like, oh wow, we beat it, and then everybody sits there on Twitter. Can you find it? Um, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Let me see here. Trying to find it. 1 second. 1 second. Um, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on. Yeah. Um, is it this one? Nope. Where is it? Nope. 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 No. Trying to find a tweet when they did like the raid. Actually, here, let me go back up here. Let me go. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Let's try Destiny 2 Kings Fall. Load. All right, let me see. What if I type in world's first? Do, 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 do. Okay. Well, it's somewhere. I thought I could find it. Like if I can go to Destiny 2's thing and then like actual like type in like the subject for it, but apparently not. But yeah, they would have like basically after when you complete the raid, you sit there and like and think you're like, okay, did we get it? Did we get it? Did we get it? And there's like that anticipation that's building up, you know? And then it would what do you call it? The anticipation would build up and everything, and then you would see like you used to get a notification from Bungie when they tweeted, and then they or from Destiny 2, and then you look at it and they'd be like, oh, this team won, like, you know, congratulations to the team that completed it. Or what they'll do is to do a tweet saying, we have reports that a team has completed the raid, and then yeah, we have reports that a team completed the raid, and they're like standing by on the details. And then like probably like an hour later, you'll get another tweet saying like, oh, this team has completed it, because what they got to do is they got to make sure and check that nobody cheated or anything like that. So yeah, World's First used to take days sometimes. It took weeks. It honestly took weeks. Oh, John, I have a question. So if somebody would hit Pinocchio, would that be considered child abuse or property damage? Well, Pinocchio is, I don't know, because Pinocchio is not really a physical person. It's not an actual like human being. So, I don't know. That's a tough one. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy one. So, but yeah, that is like something that like really threw me off.
And then when it comes down to you making your next game, you get the bright idea that you're going to make something that audience is never going to be interested in. And on top of that, you're also going to effectively halt support for Destiny 2 while you support this new game, leaving that audience hung out to dry while you have no allies. You are either dumb enough to make a game with no interest in retaining the customers that you already have, or you made a game that was actively trying to ignore them, assuming they would either buy anyway or...
So did you see that we're getting a new character tomorrow for Darktide? We are getting a new character tomorrow in Darktide? No. I didn't see that. Correction, the longest raid was 19 hours for World's First. I think that was, what was it? Last Wish? See, now I gotta look it up. No! Damn it.
Is never going to be interested in it.
Alright. I think it was Last Wish. Oh no. Salvation. Oh, so Salvation's Edge is the new one. Okay. So Salvation's Edge was 18 hours and 59 minutes, almost 19 hours. Last Wish was 18 hours. That's crazy. Yeah, Salvation's Edge was, and I remember seeing that raid race. I was like, dude, seeing the world's first raid races. Those were like very special. It's like up there with midnight releases. You're sitting there, you got multiple people's streams up. If you're not competing in it, you got multiple people's streams up, seeing like who's on what and things like that. And then like the chat, the community, like communicating with the streamer themselves. They're like, oh, what about this? Like giving ideas. Like those were cool. Like that was cool. They were events. Yes, they were events. I loved it. You know what the crazy thing is? It reminded me of I remember doing this. I remember competing in this one. This was insane. Division 2, they had when they first released their raid, the very first raid, and it was called Operation Dark Hours. And this is when you had to like retake the airport, the Washington airport. A total of, let me see. I say backpack guy always. Backpack guy, snipers, the dogs. Wait, backpack guy, snipers, dogs, and then Razorback. Yeah. So they had total 4 bosses. And that was fun. Now the thing is, you don't get a special reward. You don't get like a belt or anything like that. But you do get immortalized into the raid. Like the 8-man group that you're with, like your name is like will forever be in there, which is cool. And then also, if you're the world's first, you got a first team to beat the raid, immortalized in the White House. Let's see, limited reward between, so beating the raid during the first week, that's beating it, and then clan icon and raid trophy. So you got an airplane trophy. That's cool. But yeah, if you were the first, I think it's like if you were like one of the first few people to beat it or first few teams to beat it, you guaranteed got the raid gear, which is the Eagle Bear, and the Eagle Bear is freaking nasty. It was awesome. It was an awesome time. But yeah, like I wish they brought stuff like that back. Like if you're gonna do a PvE, like do something like a raid or something that has a challenging component to it, that has a series of mechanics that you need to do in order to be successful and complete the game. Because it's like not only appealing for you, but like it's appealing for like the viewers as well. And the reason why I said this is because like I was on YouTube yesterday, and I was watching Sweatstickle, and he was doing challenges where it was like I think it was the 0 to hero. He was going from doing all the raids. He was doing all the raids and everything with his buddies, and they had to start with like completely white armor, and then they would build up to like if they got whatever armor that they got from like the raids and stuff, they were able to use, but they couldn't use anything outside of that. It was pretty cool.
And on top of that, you're also going to effectively halt support for Destiny 2 while you support this new game, leaving that audience hung out to dry while you have no allies. Yeah. You are either dumb enough to make a game with no interest in retaining the customers that you already have, or you made a game that was actively trying to ignore them, assuming they would either buy anyway, or you just didn't mind losing them if they didn't want to buy it. That is quite literally the only explanation here, because it's not like Bungie or Sony could be surprised by any of this. From the moment that Marathon released, everybody let out a collective sigh when they realized that this game was going to be a hero-based extraction shooter with no PvE. Like, how generic can you get? Why do you guys have to keep forcing this one single mode on everybody right now? What is with the obsession with it? Whether it was Reddit threads, journalists, content creators, everybody was skeptical of this game from day one, and these guys never acted on any of it. Everybody kept asking whether there was going to be any PvE in the game. It came up again after their technical test when people were begging for it. Then you had all the time in the world after the art scandal to act on it. Sony delayed the game indefinitely. Again, they did nothing about it. They ignored another warning instead when the server slam came and you had 140,000 people that showed up to play your game, and they lost half of those players over the weekend when people have the most time to play the game when the game was free to play.
Oh yeah, it was server slam. Because I was like, when did Arc Raiders? It was when they did their closed beta. When they did their closed beta, Arc Raiders did theirs the day after, which is crazy, and then everybody went over to Arc Raiders.
Free. How do you lose people when the game is free? Because they don't want to play it. Yep. Bungie heard all of it. They saw the relevant data. They released it regardless, and they have found nothing but failure. In fact, these guys are failing so hard that it's likely going to end up killing both of their games. LD, why would you say that? That's a bold claim to make. I don't really think it's all that bold because PlayStation cannot let go of Marathon.
Nope.
And because they can't let go of it, it's going to destroy everything that they have, at least with Bungie. They can't let go of it because they can't bury another live service game prematurely. Not with how many failures they've already had, not with how high profile of a failure Concord was, not with how much money they put into this game, and also with the impairment losses that they've taken against Bungie. Sony would have PlayStation's head because the investors would have Sony's head.
I'm going to say this. Can you imagine the person that probably got laid off? Yeah, laid off or fired. Maybe they still work there. Who knows? But they were like, when they saw all this stuff, and people talking about, like, people complaining about there's no PvE component to it or anything like that. I bet you the person's like, I see, I told y'all that we need to have this in here. We need the Destiny 2 player. We need the Destiny community to like this game as well. Since we're not working on Destiny anymore, we should have something for them. Bungie, they do well with the raids. If they wanted to, hear me out. I mean, you're still doing extraction shooting and stuff, right? Add your PvE in there. What do they have? The cryo archives or whatever. They had that. Do a raid of that. Like, do like a mechanic. Like, do a game design. Do a game design / level design, where you have to go into, like, again, the cryo archives or something like that. You got to find a way to get in, and then you got to fight a series of enemies, possibly a boss, things like that. I don't know. I never played it, so like, do something like that. If they already have it, cool. But like, do something like that, and do worlds first. Do worlds first like that. Obviously, say, hey, you can't go in with like this type of gear or like certain things of the gear and everything, but like, do that. So then there's worlds first for that. Keep like the raid races, keep like the world's first raid races and stuff like that. Keep that going. That's what Bungie like is really good for. That's what they're really known for. Sorry, not good for. Even bots mess you up, so PvE isn't going to be a total walk in the park. Exactly. And then, like, as you're going deeper into like that said area, the archive, the facility or whatever, the deeper you go, the harder it gets. And then when you get to the very end, it's like, okay, you beat this boss or whatever, and you extract an item, and it's like, either you can end it there, or you can fight your way back out. And if you're able to successfully extract with that said item, raid's done. The raid's done, it's over, and then you can just, and then like that team can get something cool. I don't know, they get a replica gun with their name on it or something. I'm just spitballing here. Like, Bungie, if you want to hire me, I'm down. Just saying. I'm down, Bungie. I'm down. I'm right here. I'll throw some ideas out there. Just saying.
Because of how much of a reputational hit that would take to the company and how incompetent it makes these guys look. So they are going to invest in Marathon. That is where their focus is going to be. And yes, by the way, before anybody says anything, I do know that Marathon is going to be making a PvE only mode. But that's the problem. They're over-investing. They're putting all hands on deck when it comes to trying to save this game and get it a heartbeat, or at least the best that they possibly can. And in doing so, they're ignoring Destiny. They're pushing back.
Well, they should. Well, yeah, because the thing is, they already overdid Destiny. Again, they overdid Destiny. After when they put out Edge of Fate, and they're like, the reason why we're doing Edge of Fate is because we have a new armor system that we were working on, or the armor 3.0 system they were working on. They wanted to use it, so what did they do? They made another mode, or they made another DLC, and they implemented that so it's updated. So even if you got the game, or let me go back. So even if you either got the DLC or not, your armor rating or your light level reset anyway. So again, like mine, I actually have, here, I'll do this. Raw footage, you guys gonna see a little bit. I have this folder right here. I was gonna put it on my Sunday Side Quest channel, but I was like, no, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it. I really don't. But Let me see here. All right, first dungeon. What is it again? Warlords what? Ruin?
Warlords.
Okay. Bro,
By the way,
your mic is
Blango,
breaking the fuck up. This one? Let me see if I have.
Running tactical for you again.
But like, I don't know if you guys can see, my camera's in the way. But like, my light level was 2030. Right? It was, let's drop the things for the chicken. My light level was 2030. A lot of people were so excited when we were able to get our light level to 20, like to get it to 2000. We thought we would never see 2000. We finally get it. We have it for like, I don't know, a few, like for like 2-3 months, and then they got rid of it, or we got reset back down, and that pissed a lot of people off. It pissed me off. I was like, dude, what the heck? I felt like the progress that I've had for over the years of trying to get up to that 2000, we finally got it, and then it was just like, nope, we want to implement this new armor system, so everything is getting reset. So I was like, all right, screw it. So then that's when I stopped playing. Were you a hunter main? Yes, I was a hunter main, and then for content, I was a Titan. So hunters were like, I always did the challenging stuff for the hunters. That was because that's just how it was. The reason why is originally because I love the golden gun. I like that special. And then Titans, I like doing the thunder crash and things like that. So yeah, Warlock, I wasn't really. I had a Warlock, and it was because when Last Wish came out and they had the 1,000 voices, everybody was trying to get it. So the people I played with, we did the raid 3 times. We did Queen's Walk 3 times. So everybody had like at least 3 chances to get 1,000 voices. And the funny thing is, once you get it, like you'll just constantly get it now. Because I remember once I finally got it for my hunter, I got it for my Warlock, I got it for my Titan. Yeah, I was a Warlock main, just switched to Titan. Dude, Titan's content. I still remember I have a TikTok and a YouTube short of thunder crashing orcs in the raid. That was fun. They thought I wasn't gonna get it, and I did. But anyway, yeah.
It's content. That content is likely to be weaker or thinner or just worse in some way. And I think that Destiny, this might be a crazy thing to say, I think that Destiny is the winning horse in this race. And they're letting that horse just go out to greener pastures. Bigger name, already established. You have audiences that are already invested into it. Keep in mind that Marathon is a premium game. So fixing Marathon might bring the players back, but you still have to push copies, and that's something that Marathon hasn't done since day one.
Yep. This
isn't going to fix that problem. It might bring a few players in, but not nearly as many as they need to be able to save this game. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
But the issue is with Destiny again. Again, and then there's more. But like again, it's the whole thing that they did with Edge of Fate. On top of that, the patterns that they have been doing, when more content comes out, they have to take some away. Which again, it's 9,400 they topped off on. Damn, they almost hit 10,000. That's crazy. But yeah, like one of the things is when it comes to Destiny is that when new content comes out, everybody's like, cool, new content and everything. But they hyped it up so much, and everybody's talking about it and everything like that, that people don't realize that there's content back then also that gets vaulted, that either gets vaulted or sunsetted. You don't ever see it again. And some people caught onto it. I caught onto it, and I was like, oh, hell no. And again, this is DLCs that you paid for. And that's why they have the whole thing where, like when Renegades came out, when Edge of Fate came out, they were like, oh, all these other DLCs like Queen Witch, like the Witch Queen, and I think before that, like you get like 3 of them. Like it cost you like $50 because obviously the price is not that isn't the price isn't worth it anymore. And then also you have this latest one that latest DLC that came out. But every time when they add new content, they're always taking something away. So that's why every time when they're like, oh well, this next season came out, Renegades came out, it's like, okay, well what did you guys remove? What did you guys take away? That's what's always in my mind. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm just only speaking for myself. But I'm like, what else did you guys take away? If you're adding this, what'd you take away? And then it ends up being something. And it's something that you pay for.
Backwards engineering Marathon to be Destiny 3 just is definitely not the route for these guys to go, even though there's been some people that have been talking about it. And the reason why I say that is because this game was never designed to be that. So it's going to be a weaker experience because of it. And just getting Destiny 2 to be profitable again is just a hell of a lot easier than trying to revive Marathon at this point. It gives these guys the time to be able to figure things out. That's what they should be doing. That's not to say they should completely abandon Marathon, but that's what these guys are doing. They basically can only weigh on one side or the other. Only one of these games can survive right now. If I had to pick, it would be Destiny 2, and then you can figure things out with Marathon or figure out if you need to walk away from it. But that makes way too much sense.
Yeah.
That's not what these guys...
Destiny 2 is like only known for, over the past few years, I would say this. Destiny has been known only for their events. Like, because that's how they designed it. They're like, all right, every few months we're going to have this special event. We're going to have either a raid, like when a DLC comes out, we already know there's a raid. Then like following seasons, we're going to have some sort of dungeon. Okay. Keep us occupied. Then like when it's downtime, okay, we'll add in, the Guardian Olympics and then like the Dawning and the Haunting and things like that. Like we'll add those in. And it's like to keep it going until like, the next season, and then then the whole thing repeats over again. That's it. And they're good for that. But yeah, that's what, because the thing is, nobody's playing Destiny like for like the campaigns and stuff. Well, I won't say nobody, but there are probably like Tuesdays that are like brand new to Destiny. Like, oh, I want to try the campaign stuff. But then again, you have to buy those DLCs, and some of the DLCs you can't buy because they're completely gone. It's vaulted or sunsetted. So it's like, and here's the bad thing. If you're trying to understand the lore of it, now you got to go on YouTube and read what the lore is, because you can't even experience it yourself, because again, some of the content is sunsetted. So what are you gonna do?
Guys are going to do, because that's leading in the direction of where the players are and what the players would actually want from them. And you're not a part of this conversation. You never have been. You're nebulous. You're a number on a spreadsheet. And the minute that I started thinking about that is the minute that I realized how much worse this is going to get. The one thing that has struck me odd about this whole situation is that Sony and Bungie seem to think that they have time, seem to think that they have patience with the players. But patience, I think, is like the last thing that anybody has left for Bungie. I've covered this in the past, but these guys have torched their reputation and goodwill so much that I honestly think that they don't have much of either one left anymore. Years of some of the most blatantly egregious monetization that we have seen in the industry. Heck, these guys have been the key leaders in normalizing a lot of the stuff that we've seen today, vaulting players' content that they had paid for, outright removing content that players had paid for, constantly taking more while rarely giving anything back, jading their own audience against them in the process, just to abandon them at Destiny's lowest point. I can kind of understand why Bungie would be chasing a fresh start with a new audience, but diving headfirst into a new genre...
That would be a good idea, Seth, but the downside is they're not going to, because there was a lawsuit that happened with the Red War. Somebody wrote a story. So let me. I covered this in a video like a while ago. I think last year or the year before. But somebody was suing Bungie for Destiny 2's Red War campaign. You guys do not know the Red War campaign. That was the original campaign that came out for Destiny when you bought the game, before it was free to play. When you bought the game, you had Red War, and later on you get Curse of Osiris. What happened was, in this lawsuit, they're like, hey, they basically took my story and put it into the game. I'm not getting compensated for it. I didn't get credit for it. I'm suing them. So the person took it to court, and he had it like that. The person had their evidence, right? And then Bungie, the judges, the judge was like, "Can you provide proof to Bungie? Can you provide proof that this is not true? You know, that the content that you guys have, it is your content." They could not provide it. Okay, they could not provide the content. Why? Because they vaulted it. Why did they vault it? Because one of their developers or designers, I believe, they said the code was outdated, and everything else that they were piling on top, like Forsaken, Shadowkeep, the Witch Queen, all that code that was piling on top wasn't compatible to that one. So they cannot get that back. They cannot get Red War and all that content back. I'm not sure if I think the person won in the settlement. I think they did. I'll have to look. Hold on. You know, let's look it up now. Destiny 2 lawsuit, Red War. Six months ago. Okay, so they didn't. It's an undisclosed settlement. So they said that Bungie settles Destiny 2 copyright lawsuit with writer in undisclosed settlement. So they don't tell you, they don't have an exact number, but because the person wasn't able to because Bungie wasn't able to provide evidence that it wasn't copyrighted, he won. So Bungie settled a copyright lawsuit with a writer who alleged the story had lifted elements of Destiny 2's original storyline, like the Cabal or whatever. Like he had that, and also whoever the boss was, I forgot who it was. But plaintiff Matthew Kelsey Martineau previously alleged that Destiny 2's campaign, the Red War and Curse of Osiris, copied protected elements of his own published work, including faction and character details. It was published on WordPress in 2013-2014. In Bungie's motion to dismiss the lawsuit, it attached various materials, including Destiny 2 gameplay videos from the campaign, information from Wiki Destinypedia, and the affidavit of the game director Tyson Green. However, because it had controversy vaulted the storylines concerned, that is, removed them from the game, from the live game, Bungie had motion to dismiss was denied. It says, so now, as first reported by the Game Post, both parties have settled through the terms and conditions. That settlement was not publicized. No further objections are made within 60 days. The court will presume all parties have firmly agreed upon a compromise. So again, that person won. They basically won. So it's insane. It is insane.
Bro, reviving a dead IP with little support with existing player bases, and then
the Red War, Curse of Osiris, and Mercury Warmind, Mars, Forsaken, the Tango Shore, IO, and Titan, all vaulted for that we paid for. Yep. Hey, Xeon Digital, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Yeah, those were all vaulted, and people paid for them. I paid for it. Like when people are like, "Go, wait, you paid for Destiny?" I'm like, yeah. In 2017, I bought Destiny 2. I played Red War. It was fun. And then just think of all the raids that you can no longer play. You can't play Leviathan anymore. That was like the very first. That was the very first raid. It felt more like a dungeon, but it was a raid. Can't play that anymore or anything. And again, it's what you paid for. Now, the reason why I came back, I played Destiny for a bit, and then I left because I was playing Battlefield and other games. And I came back 2019 because of, I think it was Shadowkeep that came out. I think it was Shadowkeep that came out. And it's when they introduced stasis. And I was like, holy crap, this is basically like Star Wars. And people are like, no, it's not. I was like, yeah, it's like Star Wars because we have light. Like, obviously, we have the power of light, right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, but then stasis is not light. It's the opposite. It's like being on the dark side. Because the way how they portrayed it and everything when you go to Europa, it's in snow, it's cold, it's dark, and you go to this temple, and when you go in this temple to embrace the stasis, which is like basically dark ice, they're talking about how there's no light in there and how evil it feels and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, it's literally the dark side, and basically you're becoming a. I was like, this is where Star Wars is starting to come into play. So when Renegades came out, I was like, okay, now it's full on Star Wars, because I'm like, you're already masters of the light. You're trying to learn the dark now, because you have stasis. Then they had like the whole thing trial and error with Strand, and Strand would they had like the whole montage, animation montage where you just get your ass kicked by Strand because you're trying to like learn from it, and then you become strong and you're able to use it and everything. I was like, so basically you're becoming a Jedi master. You're learning both sides. It's crazy. I bet there's a clause where it says they can do that without getting in trouble. Because where's the class action? I bet you people probably put it. Hold on, let me see. I bet you people probably put it in for a class action. Let's see. Lawsuit. Let's see. Destiny lawsuit. What players can do. Destiny 2 is one of the most talked about. Sorry, flashbang through the door. Bungie sold players, campaigns, expansions, content pages, then deleted that content from the refund without refunds. If you paid real money for the Red Ward campaign, Forsaken, or any other Vault expansion, you may have legitimate legal claim. Players across the country have been asking whether Bungie crossed the line. The answer is more complicated than a simple yes or no. This article, okay. So yeah, Red Ward campaign, yeah. Well, we'll probably look at this after. We'll look at this afterwards. That one's interesting.
Doing all of that to carry on one of the worst reputations in the industry is just,
believe
it's
me too.
so
Me too.
incredibly
I spent a lot of my military pay.
self-destructive. Such a preordained failure that I can't help but wonder what both Sony and Bungie were thinking when it came to this. And I just kind of came to the realization that I don't think they are. No, like seriously, I don't think for a single second that these guys have ever considered their wider reputation in the games industry, what people think of them, how content their players are, or whether or not they would even actually have any support for their next game. How you feel, what you think, and what you're in.
Because they're a shell of its former self. I'm sorry to say it, but I mean, you gotta say it, it's a shell of former self. The people that made Halo, that made Bungie colossal as it is, even the people that made Destiny 1, right? That made it colossal of what Bungie is and everything. Like, they're gone. They're no longer there. And now it's a whole bunch of other people that are like, now it's a lot of new people that are working there. And it's like, how would I say it? Yeah, there's new people that are working at Bungie, and they're taking the name. They're taking the name, the brand, and everything, and they're like, we can do whatever we want because we're Bungie. But knowing that the people that are new there, they didn't do shit. They haven't done anything yet. That's like me going to when I used to work at EA, and I was doing QA testing for Battlefield. It's like me saying I can do whatever I want because I'm Battlefield. You know, no. All I could do is give my thoughts and my opinions about what is being added in the game, which I was like, hey, putting RedSec in is not such a great idea right now because we need to have a solid multiplayer first. Like, I'm saying, if you have a not so good multiplayer and then you put RedSec out and RedSec does more, like free to play has better content than the live version, then your consumers feel like they got cheated out of their money, and then there might be there could be a potential lawsuit that happens. Just saying. type of thing. That's what I try to I try to tell them about. But obviously, I'm just a tester, not a developer or anything like that. So I shouldn't have this mindset. But I'm like, the reason why I'm saying this is because I do not want this game. I do not want this franchise to die. 2042 was terrible. Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5 was pretty good. The Battle Royale was pretty good. The downside of it was just behind a paywall. They basically pulled a Black Ops 4 when they did Blackout. That's it. So now they're trying to redeem themselves, trying to do RedSec, which is free to play for everybody. But the thing is, it just doesn't feel Battlefield. It doesn't feel like Battlefield.
Interested in is just not a part of the process, and the process is the only thing that matters to these guys. Looking at the history of Destiny and all of its expansions is going to tell you as much. Hell, it's been the cornerstone of their business for years. Justin Truman talked about this at GDC in his infamous train analogy, where he explained that Bungie had to quite literally train the company.
So we're at beyond so I did Season of Splicer. I know that for sure. Season of Chosen was where I really got into it. I'll figure it out.
Company out of the mindset of over-delivering, of doing more that's expected of them. He talked about how Miyamoto was wrong when he had said that a bad game is bad forever, how Bungie has to stop their developers from adding something cool or delivering extra content even when they could, even when they had the ability to, because it might set them back in their release schedule or because it might end up making the players expect more from them as a result. I think that this mindset fully explains the position that these guys are in right now, and it explains modern Bungie and honestly a lot of the games industry at this point. But I don't think that these guys understand just how pervasive and toxic this idea of never over delivering actually is. Like, yes, it's going to threaten you with crunch. Yes, it's going to wear out your developers. Yes, you're going to end up paying for it later. But those moments where you blow players' minds are the exact moments that matter the most. That is hit creation. That is what this industry is driven by. That is the moment that you turn a customer into a fan. That is the moment.
Again, and it's like, it's understandable when he said that, but it's like, yeah, developer side, if I was working at Bungie and it was like we finished up a season, we finished up a raid, and they're like, all right, now we got to start working on the next season and the next raid and everything like that, and we have a deadline and it's like very soon. Like, you could only do crunch time for so long. Look at Halo 2. Like, Halo 2 did very well, right? We all know Halo 2 did very well. Now the downside to it is, they did majority of that game was due to crunch time, and people can only handle stress for so long until they get burnt out, feel complacent, causes mistakes, and then that can cause the quality of the game to go down. So I can understand that. Now if you have a studio that has over 10,000 developers, then that's a whole different story. But remember, with Halo 2, it was like only 60 to 100 people. That was it. I think it was less than that. So yeah.
That people start buying your games because they trust your experiences, because they believe that you're about to do some work that nobody else can do. But these guys are prioritizing whelming their audience. Who makes that their goal? Why would you do that? Especially in video games. This entire industry is built around swinging for the fences. And this mentality is now completely baked into their corporate structure, down to a developer level. The idea of never over-delivering, never overextending applies to their own people. I mean, it is their number one core tenet on their hiring page. World-class people, world-class teams. We hold ourselves and each other to the highest standard of mutual respect, inclusivity, and support, knowing that team members who speak their minds and take risks will accomplish what no individual ever could. Our wins are always team wins. And then their third one is, we know that our first idea will never be our best. Constant improvement means setting egos aside, sharing ideas early and often, and offering constructive feedback with open hearts and minds. So your philosophy is to neuter your staff while getting rid of individuality in a creative field. Genius. Really, creative industries are full of egos. They have to be. At some point, you have to have somebody in the room that has an idea that they feel is worth fighting for. Somebody has to be stubborn enough to say, no, this is the thing. This is what makes this special. This is what we have to do. And we're going to do it that way. Obviously, ego can become toxic in some cases. Obviously, it can get out of control, but trying to strip it out of the process entirely is exactly how you end up stripping out any conviction or identity in any of your games. Great games do not come from everyone politely just handing around their ideas in a circle until nobody really feels all that attached to anything. And now when you go and you pair this with their studio philosophy built around over-delivering and never over-delivering, what are we even doing here? Don't get too ambitious. Don't push too hard. Don't try to surprise the players with too much because they might expect more from you later. Set your ego aside. Feed the process. Keep the train moving. And these guys are sitting around wondering why audiences feel like nobody on the other side actually gives a shit. You created a culture that is terrified of the one thing that people love games for in the first place, something unexpected, something unique, something creative, something individual. I've always said that the games industry has a leadership issue, and now Justin Truman is head of this studio. So it makes a lot of sense why these would be their core tenets, why this would be their belief, why this would be their plan or direction. You now have years of under-delivering, years of refusing to listen, years of neutering your own developers, and it's all finally catching up with these guys. The trains may be on time, but what happens when nobody's left at the station, Justin? Something I don't think that these guys have taken the time to think about is just what happens when you continue to under-deliver? What happens when you care more about the process than you do the game or the developers or the players themselves? Well, you constantly are putting yourself a step behind. You might be getting your content out on time, you might not be crunching, but you're constantly losing interest and reputation every single step of the way, which means the next leap that you have to take to find any win is basically just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually you reach a point where there's just no recovery to be had.
I will say what they could do is, yeah, and this is going to probably be crunch time. Make your core game, make probably like 1 or 2 seasons. I would say at best do 2 seasons, and then and this is before the game comes out. That way, when you're around your when you're around season 1, you're like almost done with season 3. Because you, like you said, you want to put out 2 seasons. Have season 1, have the initial game come out, season 0, and then season 1, like a few months later. See how it all plays out. Plays out well. All right, then like proceed to do season 2, on their scheduled time or scheduled date. And while that's happening, you're already working on season 3. So you're always ahead of the game. Now, if there's an issue with season 2, obviously have a team, like pause that, have a team go back, work on some stuff for season 2. Season 3 should be out, ready to go. Make sure those changes from season 2 are implemented into season 3, or improved, and then just keep being ahead. Always be like a season or 2 ahead of the current season that you're in. That's it.
Instead of taking the train, your customers have now found another mode of transportation. These guys have moved on to other games, other communities, and a lot of these guys are probably never coming back. When I look around the games industry, I think some of the most successful games that we're seeing right now are single-player games. And I think a huge reason for that is because those games are built around the idea that they need to blow your mind the minute that you press play. They have to be the game that has everything that you could dream of and more. And those studios and publishers are throwing everything they can at the wall just to get your attention. It's all gas, no brakes. Look at something like Crimson Desert. Those guys just keep adding more and more content to their game because that's what it takes to make a game successful. That's what it takes to keep players happy. You're not trying to manage them, you're trying to win them over. I think that Bungie has built a culture of failure. And if they were still operating with a hit mentality, if they were still looking to be a blockbuster studio, if they were letting their developers be more expressive, if they actually listened to their audience instead of treating them like a problem to manage, I don't think that they would even be in this position that they're in today. You have 2 failed live service games, 2 objective failures, a fan base that you guys have spent years grinding down, and an internal culture that is built around under-delivering. How exactly are you supposed to recover from that? You either go all in on Marathon while Destiny continues to spiral and you risk losing both games. You pivot to Destiny and now you're effectively admitting that you've spent the last several years completely wasting your time. There's just no clean way out for these guys because every single decision that these guys have made has been without the audience in the room. You cannot build your future while treating the people who decide it like an afterthought. As crazy as it may sound, I do actually hope that this game recovers, though I don't actually believe that's going to be the case, but I hope that the PvE update delivers exactly what the game needs and it ends up being really good and exactly what people actually want from the game and they find success from it because, well, to be honest with you, man, I'm actually kind of sick of seeing a lot of these games die and a lot of the players just not getting anything from it.
That's what a lot of us are. And that's the thing is when it comes to and I think that's what it is when it comes to like content creators, myself as well, but like bigger ones like Borrowed Dark, side scrollers, Hypnotic, like even Asmongold talks about and stuff like that. Like we honestly we don't want the games to die. We don't want games to die out. But the thing is, we're not afraid, like us and majority of the people are not afraid to voice their opinion, saying like, we know what you guys can do. We've seen the previous games. Obviously, that's why we love your guys' studio, because of the previous games you put out and what you guys can do. And you guys did it with less technology and less money. Like, we're not going to put up with this. You guys think like because of your name, because of your brand, that we're going to buy that said game? No. If it's not well, we're not going to buy it. It's that simple. And they were like, okay, try it. Like, try us. They messed around. They found out. So now look at what's happening. But yeah, overall, we don't want the games to die. We don't. It's just like, we just make good quality games again. That's it. Stop chasing trends. Go back to what you were doing. Like, and you guys know me. Ever since I started covering stuff with the game industry, when like reading articles and stuff like that, my biggest thing is go back to what made your company good. Go back to what made your games freaking hit. Ubisoft was a tactical military type game. Like that's what they were. You had Splinter Cell, you had Rainbow Six. You had Splinter Cell, you had Rainbow Six, you had Ghost Recon. You had those games. Then they were like, okay, let's try Far Cry. Original Far Cry's, it was kind of tactical. It was like a more like military survival type of thing, which was like, okay, kind of opened up. It made it somewhat of an open world-ish. And then that's when we started getting Assassin's Creed, which again, it was great. But then they started leaning way more into that than actual like what they were before. The only thing that we have that is somewhat tactical is Rainbow Six. That's the only thing that we got left. But then you took away a huge thing from them. You took away Terrorist Hunt, which made Rainbow Six. That's what made Rainbow Six for what it is. And then you force people to go play for that community. Either they had to go play either PvP because of Rainbow Six, or people went and played Ready or Not, or they played 6 Days of Fallujah, or they played in Squad or something like that. Like, a studio should never, and it's happening with Bungie too. A studio should never, like, the worst thing that a studio should be thinking about is, we changed our game, or we changed the scope, we changed our game, the design and everything, the core design of our game, and it caused loyal players to leave. Like, that should be a concern. Just saying. That should be a huge concern.
They're the ones that are suffering the most from this. While these companies are definitely suffering a lot financially, the players are also suffering as a result. And that's the part that probably bothers me the most. But I just don't think that these guys can recover from it. And even if they do, they're likely just to find themselves in the exact same position. I mean, look at where they are right now. They can barely even support both games at the exact same time.
No, now, Seth, I will say this. I would say it's okay to take a gamble on new experiences, but as long as you still keep the identity of what your game is. So, like for an example, a great example, Splinter Cell series. You guys probably heard me talk about this before. Splinter Cell series. Splinter Cell, the very first Splinter Cell, very sneaky, tactical. You know, you had your Sam Fisher. You only had a pistol. Pandora's Tomorrow. And it's always dark spaces. Pandora's Tomorrow. There was times you were outside. It was daylight. You had new weapon arsenal. I think you had the F2000 suppressed. And that was like, okay, that was a new experience. Okay. Chaos Theory. They were like, hey, let's add multiplayer into it. Let's add co-op. Let's really see what's going to happen here. We'll add co-op. So you could do co-op missions with a buddy and everything and do all like these different challenges stuff. Then it was Blacklist? Splinter Cell Blacklist, I think. Where they're like, let's add multiplayer to it. Let's add it, like, we'll still have the campaigns and everything like that. Or Conviction and Blacklist. We'll add multiplayer to it. It's not the main thing, but we'll add it to it so we can get more people in there because people liked it. And we're gonna add a new mode called Spies versus Mercs, where there's a team of 4 that are playing as mercenaries that have guns and stuff, and the spies they need to hack. They need to hack the system while the defenders which are the mercs, try to kill the spies. And guess what? It all still circled around being sneaky, still being tactical. That's a great experience. That's a great experience. Like I'm happy that they took a chance on that. But then Ghost Recon is probably the best example of modernizing their core experience with newer games. Yeah, I could see that. Like with Ghost Recon, now Breakpoint. With Breakpoint, that's where it fell off with me. It was kind of the same thing with Wildlands, because Wildlands is like, because I'm known for, like, I played Ghost Recon like from the very beginning, like the OG Ghost Recon, and you were just, if those that do not know, original Ghost Recon was, you are literally special forces. That's it. You are Green Beret Special Forces or Delta Force, right? And it was just a reticle, yeah. And you were just like, hey, we're stopping a militia or an ultra nationalist or a terrorist group. That was not even a terrorist group. It was mainly like a military coup or something like that. That's usually what it is. Because then the terrorist was Rainbow Six. So that was what the cool thing is. Ghost Recon was like a militia, like big army type thing. Ghost Recon, not Ghost Recon. Rainbow Six was more of a, what do you call it? Rainbow Six was more of like terrorist, like a terrorist faction, right? And then it was like Splinter Cell was more of like a criminal organization type of thing. And I like that. I like how they did that umbrella of that, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, and then like, so that's what it was for Ghost Recon all the way up to Future Soldier. And then when they did Wildlands, like, okay, now let's change it up. Let's try going against a cartel. And then, which, by the way, Friday, Scorch and I were going to be finishing up Ghost Recon, hopefully. But yeah, like that one, you're fighting cartel. And then they went with Breakpoint, where it's like a person that used to train with you or something like that now like turned against you. And I'm just like, I try to see where you guys are trying to go with this, but it didn't. I think it's just the open world thing. I think that's what it is. The open world portion of it kind of like ruined it, because Ghost Recon wasn't like that. It was just like, hey, you complete this mission, boom, you're done. All right, next mission is here. That's it. You got a briefing, you did your prepped your guys, and then you did the mission, finished it, got debriefed, then do another briefing for the next mission, things like that. That's all it was. So yeah. Mercs, yeah.
Time. Actually, they can't seem to support both games.
SOCOM would be dope. SOCOM, Full Spectrum Warrior, like Conflict, like those games, bruh. Bring those back in the same design plan that they had them in before. Oh, great. And that's also another thing that comes and that's another thing that happens when it comes to FPS games, is that they're all the same, but they have the same designs around them or business models. Battle Pass, some sort of free-to-play battle royale or something like that. Movements, I guess you would say. And then, and it's just monetization. That's it. We could blame the evolution of Call of Duty for every FPS. I want to say that. I want to say I can't honestly. I can't say that. Ooh. Call of Duty and Fortnite. The thing is, Fortnite was doing its own thing. Call of Duty was like, well, we are always inspired by other games, because Call of Duty Ghosts Call of Duty Ghosts basically was inspired by Ghost Recon. Like, where Call of Duty ended for me was Modern Warfare 3, the OG Modern Warfare 3. Because I still remember when I was a kid, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, when that came on commercial, I was like, what game is this? It's modern. It looks pretty cool. And we find out that it was Call of Duty. That was the first time Call of Duty ever went modern, and everybody lost their minds. Battlefield the same way. People lost their minds when Battlefield 3 came out. I was one of them. But which game brought more eyes to it? Wait, what do you mean? What game brought more eyes to it? Oh. Yeah, I would say Call of Duty is to blame. Okay. Yes and no. Call of Duty is to blame because it's like, if Fortnite wasn't there, I don't think Call of Duty would go down that route. Would have went down the route that they went. So there was that. But then it was like if Fortnite wasn't around, Call of Duty wouldn't have gone down the route. But Fortnite is there, so it is Call of Duty's fault. It's their own fault that they went down that route and tried to like double down, triple down, quadruple down. I don't even know where they're at now. Down on trying to be, whatever. When Battlefield 5 came out originally, I was super excited for it, and then I saw a bunch of historical inaccuracies, and then I was like, well, shit, still fun though. Yeah, the thing is, with Battlefield 5, I'm not sure. I could be wrong though, but I don't think that they really emphasized on saying like, oh, this is based on historical accuracy, like Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is why Assassin's Creed Shadows did pretty bad, because they doubled down, they tripled down on the historical accuracy, and we're like, just say it's like you have some historical moments, you have certain things like, I don't know, landmarks that are historically accurate, but don't say the whole thing is historically accurate when it's not. That was the issue. That was the problem I had. And then I was playing and I was like, yeah, this isn't true. This isn't true. And then more of the what do you call it? Then the combat was kind of like shit too, to be honest. Battlefield 1 was my game with all semi-auto guns and loved it. See, and the thing is, I loved Battlefield 1 because they were like, let's try something different. And people were like, okay, what's the idea? What if because we're like, we compete against Call of Duty and stuff like that. And Call of Duty, we did World War II. We did Modern. We did futuristic. We did we had Vietnam, you know, and then it was like, okay, what if we went to World War One? And they're like, genius. And I remember when they did the marketing for Battlefield 1 too. Oh my God. The marketing for Battlefield 1 was insane. Because everybody's like, what's okay? So we got a giant blimp, a giant Zeppelin that's in the air. And then it was just like, damn. Like the Zeppelin has a gun. And then when they showed the battleship, you're like, okay, we got a battleship. Do we get to use the battleship? Yes, we get to use the battleship. Oh, you got a gun train? Got a gun train? Heck yeah. Then when they showed the end before like the Battlefield 1 pop-up, the dude was gonna beat the hell out of a guy with a shovel. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm in. Got a shovel. Hell yeah. Yeah, Battlefield 1 operations, yeah, Grand Operations. Dude, Grand Operations was oh man, it was so good. Like, don't get me wrong, Rush on Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and then like, okay, so let me go back. Gold Rush on Battlefield Bad Company, because that's where it originally started from. And then Battlefield Bad Company 2 became Rush, where you're just destroying MCOM stations, was good. Battlefield 3, amazing. Battlefield 4, amazing. And then when they did Battlefield 1 with Grand Operations, it was amazing. I loved that. And then with Battlefield 2042, they're like, hey, we're going to do something that's like Operations, but instead of going to the next level and the next level and the next level, we're just going to do it only on this level, and we're going to call it Breakthrough. And it just didn't do well. Yeah, bro, that first trailer was fucking hype with the music in the background. Yeah. I still call objective apples. Yeah, when they're like, oh, we have taken objective apple. We have taken objective butter. And I was like, okay. Because I'm always used to like Alpha, Charlie, Bravo, you know, Delta and stuff like that. But the brevity codes, oh, not brevity codes, phonetics back then, they were just like, okay, apples, butter, I don't know, chocolate, cherries. I don't know. That was cool. That was cool. So again, I think we're all in agreement to like, a lot of these games just need to go back to what they were doing, what they did before, and just stick with it. Make small changes, like, you know, obviously still keep the identity of the game, but what they need to do is to be like, hey, let's, you know,
at the exact same time. And I read through a lot of the notes where they were talking about the updates and the changes that they're going to make. They're talking about wanting to make sure that they can integrate all these new features by season 5. It's not even season 2 yet. You realize that you realize that High Guard had a 1-year roadmap, right? You guys don't have as much time as you think. I think these guys think they can play the long game, but I really don't think that they have that much time. This game just doesn't have.
Sorry, I have to say this. Even Concord, they had a roadmap. They had a whole business plan. They said, we're going to release Concord. Concord's going to do well. And then we're going to come out with a TV show for Concord. You guys remember, oh gosh, I can't remember. It was on Amazon. I think it's still on Amazon. But they came out with a series of shows. They had like Warhammer 40K. They had, what was it? They had Warhammer 40K. They had Armor Core. They had a whole bunch of them. They had like a whole bunch of shows. And the thing is, Concord was on there too. Look how that happened.
Have that kind of reputation. It's not like a No Man's Sky where millions and millions and millions of people bought that game. Everybody in the world was looking forward to it. Then it just didn't deliver. And then those guys went back and they cooked and they just ignored all the noise and put out a really good game later. You're not going to see that same recovery because this game just doesn't have that same reputation. The art theft.
Yeah, I was going to say it has too many controversies before it even picked up.
Made sure of that. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think Sony had any idea what they were getting into when they bought Bungie. I don't think that they did proper market research.
Secret level. Thank you, Blue. Thank you. Yeah. And also good morning. Yeah. That was a small show that did an episode about different games. Yeah. And I actually liked that. I liked what Secret Level did. What got me hooked to it was Armor Core, because I love Armor Core. I'm a huge Armor Core fan. And then on top of that, Warhammer 40K. I was like, whoa, they got a Warhammer Space Marine in there? Shit. Good. Just watch the Battlefield 1 official reveal trailer again. That was Battlefield. Yes. I love the Pac-Man level. That was amazing.
Research. I think that's pretty obvious when you look to see how much they actually paid for the company per developer and also how much the company was actually making. But I think that this is a really good lesson for the rest of the industry, and that's that you can try to buy your way into our lives, but it's not going to work. You can try to buy market share, you can try to buy your way into some of these genres, but if you don't understand the people on the other side of the screen, if you don't understand what's going on with that company, all you're going to do is just pay a premium on failing in public. That's all you're going to get. If Sony had seen how often, how frequently Bungie was disappointing their audience, how many times they had pissed them off, how many times they had taken things from them, how many times they had failed outside of the crazy peaks that they had seen with some of their dedicated expansions, I think that they probably would have maybe second guessed this purchase in some way. They should have. But this is the cost of not making sure that you're paying attention to see what the reputation actually is with the audience. What are players actually talking about? The people that are complaining online, especially when it comes to games like this, they're not in the minority. And I think it shows as much when you see how many copies of this game sold. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. I have new merch that's coming. I'm going to do an official announcement for it. Dude, it is so sick. I'm so excited for it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in
All right. Let me go ahead and link it. Let me link this again. But yeah. Give them a go follow. Subscribe to his channel. Go follow him on Twitch and everything. Do all that. Do all the fun stuff. Oh, man. But yeah, you know the crazy thing is, I had a dream. I had a dream the other day. Sorry. So yeah, I had a dream the other day. I felt like I was a billionaire. I don't know why. Just randomly, I was a billionaire. And what I did was, I had all these investments stuff. I remember I was sitting on my computer playing Battlefield, just like any other day, playing Battlefield. And I kept getting these calls. I get emails. I got emails like on this side, and I was like, "What's going on?" I kept getting emails talking about EA, Bungie, and all them stuff, and Ubisoft, all contacted me, and they're like, "Hey, we want to know what your take like." We have this thing that's going on with this game. We want to know like what your take is on this. You know, people pitching ideas to these studios pitching game ideas to me. And I was saying yes to some of them, and a lot of them I was saying no to. And they were like, I got pulled to the side. I got pulled to the side. Like somebody called me and stuff, and I said, "Hey, you know, we noticed that you deny a lot of these games. Why is that?" And I was like, "Because it's not what people want." And they're like, how do you know that?" I was like, "Because I tweet about it." I was like, I don't tell them. I was like, I don't tell them that I'm, you know, what the game is. I just give them an idea of what this game would be, you know. And it's the funny thing is, it's like that's how I grew. Like it was like my Twitter following, like. In the dream, that's how I grew my Twitter following. It's just like pitching ideas of a game and like seeing what people's thoughts were. And it got to the point where it was getting like a few 100,000, almost a million impressions, and like people responding to it. And I was like, "Look, here are the stats. This is what the poll says. People don't want it. Get rid of it." And literally, the people that said like they want this, I was like, "Okay, stay tuned." And then like when I get word from said company that made that game that people approved of, I said, "Oh, you guys should check out what Sony's cooking up." And then Sony comes out with a said game, and they're like, "Holy crap, that's what Chino was talking about." So they think I'm part of it, but I'm not really, type of thing. Like I think that'd be like, I'm like. I was sitting there. It was such a good dream. I was like, if I had the power to really like not control the company. Well, if I had the power to like have that much, if I had that much power, by like not for myself, but like be in that position to give like the core communities that power, I would. It'd be awesome. When you become a billionaire, let me borrow the Lambo one day. I won't even have a Lambo. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people where I'm just like, having a Lambo doesn't mean shit to me. I'd rather have a Jeep. I'd rather have a Jeep with a like Hellcat engine in it, just for the fuck of it. I try to find like something with more like, well, not Hellcat engine, but like that would be like the craziest I would go. But like something that would be convenient. That's it. Seeing a Lambo, like having people driving Lambos and stuff, I never understood that. Man, I thought you were gonna say G-Wagon. No. Like even though I sat in a G-Wagon before. G-Wagons are comfy. The thing is, the maintenance for that is ridiculous. And that's the thing, like between myself and like a few other people, like and people that are millionaires and billionaires, if I was a billionaire or a millionaire, like I would still live as if I was now. The only difference is obviously I'd be in a house. I'd be probably in a two-story house, probably like 4-bedroom house or something like that. I don't know. Have my room, have room for like, you know, when my mom comes to visit, and then have like a guest room or something like that. Like that's it. Nothing more sensible than a sensible car. Their tax write-off at least. Until something happens to that car, like that's the thing. I just don't I don't like having material things where it's like it's very flashy, because I'm like, I obviously at a younger age it was like, yeah, cool, yeah, you know. But the only thing I would say that would be flashy to me is if I had a Monte Carlo. If I had a Monte Carlo, that would be like a different thing. But the thing is because it's a car I always loved, and it was either a car I'm either working on or I paid somebody to work on. That's it. Oh, and then a Lincoln Continental, the one that JFK had. Like had one of those. That's the only flashy I will go, is a classic. Only cause it weighs over 6,000 pounds. Yeah. A Lotus mirror, that'd be cool. I remember I wanted the from Lotus. I always wanted the Elise Xage, and then I sat in one when I was in the military. I sat in one. My dreams were shattered because I can't fit in it. I'm too tall. I was like, this car is tiny. See, then like there's people that want like a Bugatti, and I'm like, The most expensive car I would like to have is a Koenigsegg Agera. Yeah, a Koenigsegg Agera. And it's the CCX. I would like to have that. Now, it's super expensive. And it's a lot of money. Would it be a daily driver? No. Would it be a weekend car? Probably not. So that's where I'm like, I don't need that car. Now people are like, well, what about your dream tuner car? And I was like, what? Like a Honda NSX. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll drive an NSX. I would love to drive that car. I would drive, like, let me put it this way. I have the mindset of I'd rather have a Honda NSX, a Toyota 86, which is basically a Subaru BRZ. I would have those as my daily drivers. I would rather have those than have some super crazy luxury car. Those have the velocity simplify, then add lightness. Yeah. Like I'd rather have those. Get that and get an Audi R8, like a daily driver. You know the funny thing is, I had no interest in getting it, like no interest in Audis until I saw Iron Man when Tony Stark had the R8. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then then after I watched the movie, I was like, no, I don't want one. But then when I saw Hitman, he had an Audi. I think it was the S5. I think that's what it's called. Audi S5. It's like this car. this car right here. I was like, this is sick. Like, I would drive that. But then what I wanted was I want one of these. And when I saw this car, woo. But the thing is, I want to go to Australia and get it, and then come back. Go to Australia, get one of these, and then drive, and then come back with it, because this car is freaking ridiculous. Yeah, it was based on the Holden Commodore platform. By GM. V8. And this car is freaking ridiculous, because a lot of these cars originally have an LS engine in it. And that thing is insane. Better than the Camaro. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll still get a '69 Camaro. Also, if I can get like a Chevelle, woo. I'm just big into older cars. I just like older cars. Like this right here. I'd get this. They don't make cars out of metal like they used to. They don't make cars out of metal at all. It's all fiberglass. It's just like the frame. It's like you have the frame, the chassis, and then you have everything else is just fiberglass. That's why cars like this back then. Oh, if somebody hits your car, you feel it. You really feel it. So, all right, I want to go ahead. I wanted to read up on this a bit, because Seth did bring up a good point. He did bring up some good points about Destiny 2 and stuff. So he was talking about the lawsuit. Why isn't there a class action lawsuit or anything like this? And this is 2026, so this is just a year. So let's see what's going on here. All right, so they said, let's see here. One important fact that before we get into it, Bungie's parent company, Sony Interactive Entertainment, acquired Bungie for $3.6 billion in 2022, which was 4 years ago. The acquisition affects who players may need to sue and how any future settlement gets structured. Destiny 2 lawsuit. What is actually happening in 2026? Destiny 2 lawsuit refers to legal actions and formal complaints filed against Bungie over the removal of paid content for Destiny 2 without compensation of players who purchased that content. Yeah, honestly, basically what they could have done is, hey, all your stuff that has gone away, we'll just replace it with, the new content. The new content, you get either a discounted price, like $10 for it, like pay $10 for it, or you get it for free. That's just me personally. All right, so as of 2026, no single federal class action has reached a certified settlement stage. However, multiple consumer protection complaints have been filed with state attorneys general and the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. Several law firms have investigated potential class action claims against Bungie. Let's see. The dispute centers on the fundamental problem. Players spent real money on content that later became inaccessible. Bungie labeled this process content vaulting, but critics say the term is a euphemism for deleting products that consumers already bought and paid for. The current status: 2026 FTC complaints filed. Yes, the detailed is more. Is yes, multiple consumer submissions. Formal class action certified, not yet as of early 2026. Law firms investigating, multiple actively recruiting plaintiffs. Bungie's response points to terms of service. Courts and consumer aid. Oh, and the thing is with the terms of service and like the EU, the EULA or the EULA or the end user license agreement, those need to be stated before you make the purchase of the game itself. That's what they need to do. that is something that, like, if you go on the website to order the game or to buy the game, or if you go on Steam to buy the game, it needs to state the EULA right there and then before you purchase it. I don't even care if they say, like, right when you hit buy, like the EULA pops up, you have to scroll down and read it and everything like that, and it says, have you read it? Check it, yes. And then you hit buy, and then you click, you proceed to do the payment and stuff like that. Do that. They need to do that. So, all right. So then they said that some courts and consumer agencies are still evaluating whether terms of service agreements can legally override consumer protection statutes. That is the central legal question. The Destiny 2 Red War lawsuit, this full story behind it, which we talked about before. Red War lawsuit targets Bungie's decision to remove Red War campaign from the this is different. Campaign from the game in November 2020, despite players having paid for it as part of the base game or standalone purchase, which I did. It says that the Red War campaign was Destiny 2's original story mode at launch in 2017. Bungie sold it as a foundation of the game experience. Players who purchased the game, the base game specifically, got access to Red War as a core component of what they were buying. When Bungie released Beyond Light expansion in November 2020, they vaulted Red War, Curse of Osiris, Warmind simultaneously. Players who still wanted to play the content found it simply gone. Yep. I remember there's like a little thing where you can go back and play like the campaigns of the previous expansions. Nope, that was gone. That's where I was pissed. Removed content: Red War campaign, Curse of Osiris, Warmind, and Forsaken campaign. Year sold: 2017, 2017, 2018, 2018. The year removed: 2020, 2020, 2020, and 2022. The estimated cost paid: $20 to $60. Curse of Osiris was $20. Warmind was $20, and Forsaken was $40. So 20, 40, 80, 100, or 140 total right there. All right, so for many players, the Red War removal felt like buying a car and then having the dealer remotely disable the engine 2 years later. You still own the receipt, but the product is gone. What is Destiny 2 lawsuit really about? At its core, Destiny 2 lawsuit is about whether a company can sell you a digital product, collect full payment, and then delete that product without refunding you. And guess who's doing this whole thing right now? Stop Killing Games. They are combating against this. They're trying to help the consumer, us, the consumers, get what we paid for. If not, get a refund for it, or not refund for it. But that's what California is doing. Stop Killing Games is saying, hey, you guys need to implement something where you guys cannot get rid of the content. If the game is end of life, it still has to be playable to some sort of degree. That's it. That's where the whole excuse, by the way, when they first decided to sunset, was file size. Yeah, they're trying to say file size. Well, it's like, if you guys really trying to sunset because of file sizes, you guys need to find a way how to say, hey, if you want to play this DLC, then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to uninstall the DLC to play this new one, something like that. But then again, look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty, it's almost like a damn terabyte. If you think about all the multiplayer packs, the multiplayer data packs, the pack sizes, and all that stuff, damn near freaking a terabyte. It's like hundreds of gigs to download. This was cheap, yeah. So let's see here. They said this is not just about video games. It touches on a much larger question about digital ownership that affects music, movies, software, and ebooks. When you buy something digital, do you actually own it, or are you just renting access? They said that Bungie's position has consistently been the players licensed the content, not owned it. Their terms of service agreement supports this interpretation. See, and what they tried to do was, when they got rid of the other campaigns, right, that you paid for, like these, they went to free to play. So then they're like, well, the game's free. You know, you're just buying the extra stuff to it, which again still doesn't defeat it. It's still just, and it just still supports what people are upset about. Hey, I paid for this, it's gone. Either bring it back or give me my money back. That's it. All right, so then they said that the counter argument from consumer advocates is straightforward. If Bungie marketed Red War as something you get when you buy the game, the marketing itself may have created a legally enforceable promise that overrides the fine print in terms of service document most players never read. Yeah. Because then it's like false advertisement. Bungie marketed content using ownership language. Get the full campaign. Players paid full retail price, not subscription fees. No disclosure was made at the point of sale that content could be deleted. Exactly. No refund process was offered when content was removed. Nope. The legal core: deceptive trade practices laws in many states protect consumers from situations exactly like this. Bungie lawsuit and content vaulting, the core problem. They said that content vaulting is Bungie's term for removing content from active accessibility in Destiny 2. The Bungie lawsuit. Hold on. Actually, give me 1 second. Since we're gonna be in this for a bit. There we go. All right, cool. Let's see here. Yeah, Bungie's lawsuit and content vaulting, the core problems. Content is Bungie's term for removing content from active accessibility in Destiny 2. The Bungie lawsuit over content vaulting argues this practice violates consumer protection laws. Bungie introduced the content vault concept publicly in June 2020, months before the first wave of deletions. They framed it as necessary for game performance and storage reasons. They called it Destiny Content Vault, or DCV. What they did not frame it as was a refund moment. No automatic compensation was offered. Players simply lost access. What Bungie said? They said rotating content keeps the game fresh. What players experience? Paid campaigns became unplayable. DCV allows us to focus resources. What happened? Years of purchased content deleted. What did they say? What Bungie said? Vaulted content may return someday. What we expected? No confirmed return dates. What they said? Terms of service allows this. What we expected? No pre-purchase disclosure. So then they said that the legal problem is the gap between what Bungie communicated before purchase and what they did after purchase. The gap is where consumer fraud claims typically live. Key takeaway: the Destiny 2 lawsuit is built on a gap between Bungie's marketing promises and what actually happened to paid content that millions of players purchased in good faith. I feel like if any paranoid type of person would want to do this, right, is that people would probably obviously live stream or record a trailer or devlogs or something like that of people talking about content that's coming out, and they saying like what they should say, like not what they should say, or like what people are saying, like saying, oh, get the full access to this by purchasing this, right? And then they're gonna save that just in case they try to delete the VOD or something, like delete their like the company tried to delete their video or something. And then when the game comes out and the content's out and everything like that, and then years later they get rid of it, they can be like, hey, this person said this. Remember, I have it recorded. It's right here in my video, right? This is what this person said. This is what was stated. It's not there because it's like, it's not on their end because they deleted it. Type of thing. People are going to document this stuff. If not already, people are going to document this. And one of these days, Bungie is going to be held accountable. And if any other company, any other studios doing the same thing, you guys are going to be held accountable. Just saying. All right, so then they said, can you sue Bungie for removing paid content? Yes, individual players can potentially sue Bungie for removing paid content, though success depends on several legal factors, including your state's consumer protection laws and the specific content you purchase. Well, if you are in California and they pass this bill, you may get some compensation. You may get your money back. They said that small claims court is the most accessible route for individual players. Many states allow claims up to $10,000 in small claims court, where you do not need an attorney. If you spent $60 on content that was deleted, small claims filing is a viable option worth taking seriously. Yeah, well, $60. A lot of people spent $140. Good thing I'm in California. Exactly. There you go. A class action lawsuit pulls many individual claims together. This approach makes the total damages large enough to motivate law firms to take the case on contingency. You would not pay anything upfront in the class action. Your strongest legal arguments: unjust enrichment. Bungie kept your money for something they no longer provide. That's true. Breach of implied contract. Marketing created an enforceable promise. Again, I'm not a lawyer or anything. I'm reading this from I think from a law firm. So just saying. They said deceptive trade practices. You were not told at purchase that content could be deleted. Consumer fraud. This is a transaction was completed under materially misleading conditions. False advertising, I guess you say. State laws vary significantly. California's Consumer Legal Remedies Act and Washington's State's Consumer Protection Act offer particularly strong protections for situations like this. Now, if you guys remember, Bungie is in Washington State. So, just saying, right here. And it's crazy, like they're just like, oh, whatever. Let's see here. Destiny 2's content vaulting and consumer rights. Destiny 2 content vaulting raises serious consumer rights, consumers' rights issues because players were never warned. Before purchase, the content they bought could later be inaccessible. Consumer protection laws in most states require that material information affecting a purchasing decision to be disclosed to buyers. The fact that a game campaign could be deleted is arguably a material fact. A reasonable consumer would want to know that before spending money. Yeah, they could say, "Hey, it could be. There could be a chance that the content will be deleted, and you won't get money back from it. Most likely, people are gonna be like, okay, I'm not buying it then." So, let's see here. It says the FTC has been increasingly active in scrutinizing digital goods markets. Their 2024 guidance on deceptive subscription and digital product practices set a precedent that digital product sellers cannot quietly strip features or content after purchase without disclosure. True. California CLRA, I want to say the Clara, protects against goods sold under false representations. Washington CPA prohibits unfair business practices affecting consumers. New York GBL 349 covers deceptive acts in consumer transactions. FTC Act Section 5 prohibits unfair or deceptive acts in commerce. Woo! So there's a lot. So a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna say that it's possible. Here, and what I'll do is I'll link this to you guys. So if you guys want to read more into it, I'll probably read this on my off time. I'll probably read this on my off time, when I'm sitting on the pooper or something, But yeah, that is crazy. That is insane. I gotta remember this. Yeah. And this is from lawful.com. If it ever happens, Sony will have to pay. Oh yeah. They're gonna have to pay. And guess what? That's gonna add to the what do you call it? Yeah, and what's gonna happen is that's gonna add more to the issue, to their loss, impairment loss. And it's like, again, what we saw from what's his name's video, from Legendary Drop's video, like they should have, like, Sony bought Bungie because Microsoft bought Activision. Now both of them have problems, but I think Bungie is having more problems than Activision. Just being honest. It's an insane thing to see. Also, guys, quick question. What do you guys think about this whole segment? I know usually we do like a video, probably do an article read here and there, but my question is, what would you guys think about having a day where having a stream, I'm not sure which day, but having a stream where we just like go over a series of articles, videos about the game industry and things like that? Because I know usually it's like, oh, I do one or two and then be like, boom. I actually really like the streams where you come and talk stuff. Okay. I always wonder that, because like I do, like, again, I do have, let's see here. Down the rabbit hole we went. Yeah, Battlefield isn't really my bag, so I tend to lurk most days. Makes sense. Like, where to go? So it's like I have these ones, obviously like the Alpha Reacts ones and stuff like that. And then we have the, what do you call it? The industry news. All these videos. Actually, hold on, let me go to playlists. Yeah. Then we have all these. These are all the things. The chatty ones, I feel like I can participate more. Okay, got it. So here's a streaming question. What are your thoughts on streaming on the stream stream elements? I was like, stream elephants thing. Honestly, I think it's shitty. I think it sucks because now the thing is, I don't know a ton of things. I don't know like a lot of stuff in there. Yeah. I don't know like a ton of things when it comes to the stream elements. I just know that they have an issue with oh god, what's the name of it? Sorry, my brain kind of like went off. I know they were struggling with money and that they're looking for somebody to purchase it. Now, the crazy thing is the CEO of Rumble is thinking about wanting to acquire them. It sucks again because like a lot of people use it for like, a lot of people are using stream elements for like their alerts and stuff. I mean, that's what I have my alerts for. But then again, it's like if I can no longer use my alerts, my alerts I got from Nerd or Die. That's what you guys see, the whole like thing that pops up. But then if that is the case, if like I could just constantly just use like the little chat that I have, like the scroll chat. And if somebody wanted to, like if somebody subscribed or follow, I would see it. And then I could just go into Streamer Bot, create like an alert thing myself where it's like, hey, when somebody subscribes to something, just have like a noise, and then I can, which will just give me the indication to, hey, let me look over and see what's going on. Boom. All right. Oh, somebody subscribed. Hey, man, thanks for the subscription, type of thing. I could just do it that way. Rumble buying it will kill it either way, for just being associated with Rumble. I'm gonna be honest, and it's just, I'm gonna be honest. I am streaming on Rumble too. I am on there. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Rumble. I just started doing Rumble, and the reason why is because of everything that's going on with YouTube. Rumble is the alternative to my YouTube because of what they're doing with the AI moderation. If AI moderation on YouTube wasn't crazy, then I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have this concern. I probably wouldn't even have Rumble. But seeing people's accounts get terminated randomly, people that just got that like grinded their ass off and finally got monetized, they're like YouTube partner just to get their account or just to get their accounts terminated. It sucks. And that's why a lot of people are moving to Rumble because they don't want to deal with that. On top of that, with Rumble, not trying to promote them or anything, but it's just a cool thing that I saw is that once you make your account on Rumble, you're immediately monetized. I don't think they have ads or anything, but you can like people can I think can like do a donation to you and stuff like that, which is cool. That's just my thing. I think that's a cool thing to do. Now the thing is, I don't know if they even have alerts. I don't know if there's an alerts thing that you can make or what, but that was very insane. So but yeah, Rumble just gets a bad rap for political agendas. That's all. If that matters to people, I understand that. I understand like the whole thing when it comes to. Yeah, I can understand that. Like, yes, looking at it, it's like gaming on Rumble is very, 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 very small. It's very tiny, and that's fine. I will be a gaming stream on Rumble. It's okay. We're more eyes, the better for content creators. Yeah, like I'll do, like I'll talk about the game industry. I will play video games and stuff like that on Rumble. I will do that. It's fine. And also, here's the thing: there are games in the past that may be controversial to Twitch, to YouTube, where it's not, where they could potentially ban you or they could suspend you or something like that. And what I could do is I could just go on to Rumble and play the game. One of the games is the one I have, State of Emergency. Literally, that game, and this game is by Rockstar. This is a game that you get points for causing a riot and just blowing everything up. And unfortunately, I probably won't be able to play it on stream because on Twitch because it might be a TOS thing. It may not show us TOS. You know, it may say, "Hey, it's not against." Like the game may. Hold on, actually, let me see. It's probably very vague. Twitch. Video games that are against all right, list of prohibited games. Let's see here. First video I see on Rumble, American needs a second revolution. Yeah, people are stupid. So list of okay, so list of prohibited games. This is from Twitch's thing. Twitch's article up here. All right, so you guys see it. All right. So they said here, list of prohibited games. Games are restricted from broadcast. 2 criteria. The official ESRB rating, adults only. The game violates our community guidelines, which applies hate speech, sex, nudity, gratuitous gore, or extreme violence. Alternate versions of adults only titles with the ESRB rating mature or lower are permitted, including mature versions of Grand Theft Auto. Oh wait, hold on. Alternative versions alternative versions of adults only titles with an ESRB rating of mature or lower permitted. Mature versions Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, and Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy. The game reviews are conducted following reports from the community. If the game is unrated by the ESRB or wholly comparable, rated title cannot be found, the moderation team determines the game whether violates the community guidelines. Titles may be restricted if they are sufficiently extreme by a single element of the game, sexual content, violence, intent, or several elements in aggregate violate our policies. Okay, so let's see here. These are prohibited games. So let's see here. House party, honey pop. Well, all these sound pretty damn bad. Yeah, they sound really bad. So I mean, I don't see state of emergency as one. So this is yeah, that is wild. So this is the game I bought. State of emergency, great game. And literally you're just beating like, oh, that's debugging. But basically you're just causing issues, you're just blowing shit up. You're shooting things. It's insane. So, State of Emergency is a beat-em-up video game developed by Viz Entertainment and published by Rockstar Games for PS2, Xbox, and Global Star Software for Microsoft Studios. The game received mixed, well-received reviews. Oh, flashbang through the door. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Okay, so here, the plot. It says, set in dystopia in the United States where big business gradually took over national affairs and suspended elections. It wasn't long before the American Trade Organization, ATO, most commonly known as the Corporation, performs a coup and takes control in 2023, establishing a totalitarian corporate regime. Years later, in 2035, an underground movement called Freedom sparks a national riot, and the corruption declares a state of emergency in response. Hence the game. It says the game takes place in Capital City. The player joins Freedom to topple the corporation. They must play as one of the selection of 5 characters with each of their own unique backgrounds. So McNeil was a cop for 15 years before he was fired from the force for refusing to open fire on a group of rioters looting a corporation grocery store. Damn. Anna was an up-and-coming criminal attorney who once believed in the corporation model of rebuilding America until she was blackmailed by security forces to falsify evidence against political prisoners. This is who I use. I use Spanky. Spanky remembers the way his neighborhood used to be, although it isn't always the nicest place to live. It now seems like paradise compared to the veritable war zone that it has become. Overrun by state-sponsored death squads and gangs, the corporation has launched a war of attrition against the forgotten people of Spanky's neighborhood. Once a hardened gang member, this charismatic figure has now turned his efforts into organizing his community in armed resistance. He was orphaned in high school when his parents was arrested as political dissidents, and were never seen again. Probably killed off. The bull graduated from Mesa High School and joined the armed forces before the corporation takeover. He was discovered by a sports agent while playing for the Army's football team, and was recruited to play professionally. The bull enjoyed a legendary career. So, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to play as, I don't know. Am I able to follow? I don't know. I'll probably contact them or something like, hey, Twitch, I got a question. Can I is this so, like, I want to make sure I get it okay from like a rep, you know, or like from somebody from there. Did I message if it's too much? By the way, just had to say it. Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me delete that. I was like, but we did read, like, we all saw it's I don't think it would be too bad, because the thing is, it was on their TOS thing, right? You know, it was on their TOS page. So If they try to get me for that, it's like, well, guys, it's on your Twitch TOS page. So if I'm gonna get in trouble, you guys need to get in trouble too because it's on your TOS page. I'm just reading off what you guys say that's not allowed, right? So I played this as a kid, yeah, dude. And you know what? Okay, so Seth, here's the funny thing, right? You played it as a kid, right? You turned out fine. You were just gaining knowledge, exactly. Yeah, and the thing is like, yeah. So like going back to what I was saying, like we played a State of Emergency, we played True Crime Streets of LA, we played GTA, right? We played all those games, and we turned out fine. That's why when it comes to people, when people say it's all about the video games, it's people like the video games' fault. Like, you know, video games are the ones that are turning people into this. No, it's because it's fucking weak-minded people. It's weak-minded people, and then you allow people to do shit like that. Remember Manhunt? Oh yeah, I don't know how old. I remember Manhunt. I never played it, but I remember seeing that in Blockbuster. I've seen those on the shelves on Blockbuster. I've seen those. Yeah, I remember those. One of these days for Sunday Side Quest, one of these days for Sunday Side Quest, I need to play. Well, obviously I'll play State of Emergency, but excuse me, Killzone. You guys remember that game? Remember Killzone? That's something Sony should bring back too. Also, by the way, just to let you guys know, might be some streams that are a little early, especially the upcoming month, because we got Xbox Showcase, we have Sony State of Play, and then we have Summer's Games Fest, and we will be live co-streaming those. We will take a look at those. It'll be a whole video and everything like that. We will do that. And then after that, we'll go back to regular programming. We'll go back to so I'll stream it, you know, have our reactions and things like that. And then afterwards, probably end that stream and then, you know, wait until the later nights and then we'll go back and then do regular stuff. But yeah. Crazy. Oh man. All right. I think we got an hour-ish, but I guess we should get a little bit of Battlefield reps in, right? We're at level 31 with the we're at level 31, so. Oh, hold on. This was funny. I saw this and I was like, wait, what the heck? Welcome to the team, Ludwig Kaiser. These are all the people that got arrested. These are all the wrestlers got arrested. Ludwig Kaiser he got bailed out now, but he got arrested for battery. And now it's not crazy. Like, it's not like he beat anybody. Battery is just touching somebody without their consent. And that could be like just grabbing somebody's arm or something like that. Like, that's what it could be. This is insane. So, being arrested is not something to be proud of, which is true. But, yeah. Liv, Jimmy, and also, I don't know about Romans. Yeah, Liv, Jimmy, and Jeff, they were all DUIs. Stone Cold was domestic violence. Romans, I forgot what Romans was. Brock's. Brock was drug related, and then Roman was a drunken fight. That's crazy. Stone Cold is my man. Yeah, Stone Cold is the man. It's crazy. I thought hers was weed possession. And the crazy thing is, like, I think hers was weed possession, but it wasn't hers. It was you got the vapes. It was like a THC vape or whatever. She got busted from her friend with that. Dude, I'm seeing a lot of people playing Ace Combat Infinity out of nowhere. It's crazy. Wait, was a never mind. I saw something. Something caught my eye, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell?" All right, I gotta hit the hey, good talking. Oh yeah, of course. Always. Get some sleep, get some rest, and I will see ya in the next one. All right. Yeah, let's get a little bit of Battlefield then. It ain't great. We'll get some. We get a little bit of Battlefield. All right. Woo! All right. Let me go get me some water. So the idea is we played recon and we use a DMR. All right, so we're level 31. Maybe we can get to 35. Who knows? I'll pop a double XP token and then we'll see how far we get within that 1 hour. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Do.
Doing? I feel like I'm like stuck here. Help me! Nothing's happening.
This is a real mother.
Oh, deploy, okay. Why didn't you say that?
All call signs. We need to push the enemy back and secure the site. First sector is clear for attack. Let's go.
Oh, these motherfuckers over here lighting niggas up.
Explosive ready!
Bitch. Can I help him even though I'm not like a medic? I'm confused. How do I can I not shoot my Oh god, yeah, I'm dead. How do I do that? Man, I'm about to beat your ass. Get over here! How do I do that? Make my scope lean sideways. Yeah! Like I'm peeking an angle.
Damn. I got a few hits on that person.
Austin, get me out of here. I'm about to kick you in the dick.
Yeah. You like those reds?
So I go to this? Oh, okay, we do it here, garden. So how do I peek? That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit ass peek.
You make me sad. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
So, do I not have, who the fuck just shot my... Bitch, you wanna shoot my teammate, hoe? Run your ass the fuck around. Loser.
Explosive ready! Explosive ready!
Oh, there you go. Just wanna walk you dance. Bye, bye. I just wanna.
How do I ping him? Baby, how do I ping him?
Taken Alpha.
What? Get down! Hate you.
Oh yeah.
I'm only playing.
I will always
Oh my
remember.
god. Yeah, be a real channel guy. Oh, they got me. I know you just got hit with a fucking shotgun and you did not die. That's bullshit. Roger, drag me. That's weird.
Huh? Oh, you dummy.
Thanks, Martin, for your dude. Oh my god, you just fucking got me shot. I hate you. Wake your drunk ass up.
Thank you. Come on.
You gotta see.
You know what? We don't need you. I don't even know how to play this game. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I gotta get out. 'Cause you're a pussy. Fucking pussy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, he's over here. He's over here. Oh my god. You know what, Austin? This is all your fault. Yeah, it is fucking all your fault. Cause I don't even know how to play this. You're supposed to be showing me how to play this, and you know what? You're not.
So, you're a shitty ass. Yes, you are. No. These guys are quiet and they're actually showing me more than you are. Oh god, why is he not good?
There you go.
Why would they let me like peek the corners? You know what? So,
I got a hit marker. Damn it. Is that top or below?
Oh, beautiful man. How's he feeling, man?
Google Drive. Oh my god. See, no, I don't even know what it means.
I don't have a grenade launcher or anything.
Are you fucking
Baby, are you getting sick?
Dang, can't even see.
oh my god. Oh my god. There's a healing here. Baby, are you feeling up?
Damn.
Oh my god, there's like 7 of them right there. Are you fucking kidding me? They're behind us.
Yeah, we need a nade launcher. The heck glitch. I see him.
Son of a bitch. They're all right here.
Coming.
Don't tell me the wobs got me. Stop it with the wobs. There you go. Okay, I'll take you back. All right, let's pick up where we started.
Oh no!
Now.
Gotta go. I'm throwing up. You're taking me out. Turn the game off.
Woo. Do, 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 do. Woo. Oh.
Oh, that's what?
Had my back.
No, god damn it. Move, people. Shit.
I'm here.
Hang on, my feet down. God damn it. That's probably not far enough. What? How did he? What? Dude, you were well in the cone. How did that not kill you? I know Claymore's killed like from far, killed from far distance, yeah, which I thought was bullshit. But dude, really? I think that is the dumbest thing. That was the dumbest thing ever.
Our troops are attacking Alpha. Be advised, we have lost objective Bravo. Our troops have wiped out half the enemy forces.
This guy, there's still a dude in the fucking back.
Our troops are attacking Alpha.
He's still back there, dude. This dude, there's still a guy back here. He's laying there. What the fuck?
Why are you guys always dead?
This guy in the back. He's gonna get shot. Battlefield, I do whatever the fuck I want.
Explosive ready!
Huh? Don't get in my way, dude.
I need a medic!
No, ping, you screwed me on that one.
So you can pick me up.
Stay with me! Oh, you on? Shit!
One got through. Let's get him. Okay.
You're in the Battlefield's creator program, but you just went 9 and 8.
Ooh, Iberian offensive. I don't know how he saw me. Ain't nothing going on, really. Damn it. How did they survive 3? I'm guessing nobody's watching middle. Yeah, not really much happened there. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it there. I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Time to fight.
We'll do some more. We'll do some more tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll make sure to get on and actually like play. Today was like more like a chill day, I guess you would say. So, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Twitch, we're gonna go and raid Kazi. Kazi is playing right now, doing his mastery grind and everything. So, be sure to show some love and support over there and everything. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next stream. All right, have a good one. Later.